war between the West and radical Islam, or is there war between the West and Islam
it's
itself?
radical, but it's very hard to define. It's very hard to separate because you don't know who's.
Do you think
Oh my God.
Hates us.
Do you think Islam is at war with the West?
I think Islam hates us. There's something there that there's a tremendous hatred there. There's a tremendous hatred. We have to get to the bottom of it. There is an unbelievable hatred of us.
In Islam itself?
You're going to have to figure that out, okay? You'll get another Pulitzer, right? But you're going to have to figure that out. But there is a tremendous hatred, and we have to be very vigilant. We have to be very careful, and we can't allow people coming into this country who have this hatred of the United States.
I guess the question is,
and of people that are not Muslim.
I guess the question is there a war between the West and radical Islam, or is there a war between the West and Islam
It's
itself?
radical, but it's very hard to define. It's very hard to separate because you don't know who's.
Do you think
I think that, all right, so at the end when he said it's very hard to separate, you don't know who's who. Well, I mean, that's just the case with, a lot of terrorist groups. They're disguising themselves. You don't know who's who. It's almost like I'm thinking of like if you were in LA and the gangs and somebody had on a blue hat, a black kid walking down the street with a blue hat. It's very hard to distinguish between him and another gangbanger who's actually a gangbanger, but this kid's not. But it may be a bad example. I think that this just sets, what's so terrible about all this is that you can only speak about certain religions like this. You can only make these blanket statements, maybe actually just about Islam. You can only make these blanket statements to say that Islam hates us. How do we think that what does that do to a whole lot of Americans that are Muslim? How does that make the rest of America look at these people? Now, at the end, I think I don't want to, this is wrong. Can we just be clear? I'm just giving y'all my opinion on it. This is wrong. Now, what I'm suggesting is that he be a little bit clear, not a little bit clearer. You got to be a lot clearer on this. This is dangerous rhetoric. It is. I got to be honest. You got to call a spade a spade. I call it out on both sides. I have to call it out on both sides, because if I don't, then I'm just going to become everything that I hate about MSNBC and CNN and a lot of these other liberal platforms. Trump can't make a mistake like this. And I told y'all before, the number one thing that I was worried about when it came to Trump and my support of him is his dealings with Israel and Palestine. That was the number one thing that gave me concern. I thought, okay, Trump's going to do it. He'll take care of the issues with the border, take care of the issues with a lot of these cities being overwhelmed with the migrants, take care of simple stuff like women not competing or men not competing in women's sports, take care of a lot of this stuff that's being pushed within the school systems, these books, the tampons in boys' bathrooms, drag queens reading books to kids in schools. I thought he would take care of a lot of the common sense cultural things that were big concerns to me. The emasculation, all these different things that were very important to me. However, I was concerned with how he would deal with Israel and Palestine. And when I hear something like this, I got to be honest, it enhances that concern. It raises that alarm a bit for me. You can't make statements like this. Here I am, I just showed y'all a video of me saying that Don Lemon shouldn't categorize all black people and say that if you're black and you're MAGA, you can't be a rational person. Donald Trump just said, y'all know what it is. It's Dak from the OG Network. Man, I just want to thank y'all. That's right, to thank y'all for all of your tremendous support over the years, whether you've been rocking with us from the beginning or maybe this is the first show that you're checking out on the network. We want to thank you nonetheless. And we have an ask, all right? We have a goal of reaching 20,000 subscribers by the end of March. That's right, 20K by the end of March. It's not a real goal unless you put a date on it. And with that, we need your help. So we ask that if you are enjoying the content that you like, subscribe if you haven't already. And if you're feeling real generous, maybe share with some friends and family. All right, I'll let y'all go. And once again, thank you for your continued support. And we look forward to growing with y'all. See y'all soon. Ew. That Islam hates us. Now at the end, and this is what I will do. And maybe I should, because at the end, I'm going to show y'all right here at the end. This is where he had the opportunity to explain, to say, like, listen, obviously, if he does think this, I don't know what he thinks. I'm not trying to give the benefit of the doubt, but this is what he should have said, in my opinion. At the end, he should have said that, of course, obviously, I'm not speaking about Islam overall. I'm speaking of just the radicals. Anderson Cooper gave him a lob. He said, are you talking about the radical? Are you talking about Islam overall or just the radical phase groups? Now, even saying that, you know what I mean? It's like, well, who deems it radical? I guess to who? But let's just, even if he should have just said that at the very least. I'm talking about the radical terrorist groups. And they do a good job of blending in to the point where and trying to bleed a lot of their thoughts, bleed a lot of their missions into other people, just like we see a lot of other movements bringing other people on board. So therefore, it presents different challenges to us from the radical groups. But he should have just kept it on radical groups. And we'll listen to it again. But this is at the end where I think, and maybe, I'm not even going to say maybe, but you want to know why I have to say maybe is because it's because of the very fine people on both sides. Once I saw how they presented that, and 2 sentences later, he was very clear on that situation. I don't want to get into it. It made me question a lot of how these things are clipped up. But either way, it's wrong.
In the West and Islam
It's radical, but it's very hard to define. It's very hard to separate because you don't know who's.
Do you think?
See, like I would have loved to hear that. But let's listen to it one more time. You guys, once again, give me your thoughts. But this is a problem for me.
Do you think Islam is at war with the West?
I think Islam hates us. There's something there that there's a tremendous hatred there. There's a tremendous hatred. We have to get to the bottom of it.
And that's a good point. Hold on. Honest, that's actually a very good point. That's actually a very good point. And I'm glad that you mentioned that. I'm glad that you mentioned that. It does seem like it's a while ago. Let me actually, hold on. Let me actually look at this. I'm going to Google it. So just so y'all know, Honest wrote, when was this interview? Looks many months ago. Maybe it doesn't matter, but just wanted to point that out. This is ahead of the election at some point, maybe years ago. Let's actually see when this interview was. Because like I said, a lot of these clips I just get. Now, this is definitely, I don't think that this is recent, but when you have these clips, when you have these stances, it obviously, the reason why it's relevant right now is because of maybe what he's dealing with between Israel and Palestine. Maybe that's why the video came back up. But hold on, let me see. Donald Trump, Islam hates us, Anderson Cooper. Let's see exactly when it was. So this is 2016. And it says that he's 2016 remarks resurface. Now, I'm glad that I'm so glad that Honest brought this up. I'm so glad that Honest brought this up. We knew that it was older. We didn't know how much. This maybe goes to show a lot of how Donald Trump's rhetoric in the past has turned off a lot of people and has set the tone for how they view him moving forward. This is how a lot of, and I'm so glad. Thank you, honest. I'm being totally honest with you. I feel better about it, but now I'm thinking about it from this standpoint. This is why in 2016, a lot of people felt the way that we felt. And this is why I said I'm hesitant to even have a conversation about this clip without seeing the full video. But this is the type of rhetoric that allows a lot of the people to get away with all the things that they now say about Trump, even though this video is from 9 years ago. Just being honest. It's from 9 years ago. Now, let me answer Ant's question anyway, because thank you, honest. Thank you, honest, because I think even though I knew that it was older, I'm being totally honest. I did not believe that. I probably wouldn't have guessed that it was, like, in my mind, I wasn't thinking 2016. But this is why Donald Trump, people can get away with, or people think of him in a particular way. Let me hold on. I think I missed a couple comments. And Ant wrote, do I think he means just radicals only? Do I think he meant just radicals only? I think that he meant exactly what he said. I think he meant exactly what he said. And I think these type of statements, in my opinion, it shows how prejudiced the majority of us are. You know, prejudice is just a real thing. And we were even having a conversation yesterday that most prejudices are true. Like a lot of the way people prejudge and the way people think, like a lot of that is based on let me say this. A lot of it's based on your own experience and perception of something. But I would have to take him at his word, Ant. I'm gonna be honest. I would have to take him at his word, especially knowing that it was then. And this is why a lot of the stuff, when you saying very fine people on both, this is why we got tricked, and this is why I got tricked on a lot of this stuff. I'm being honest. And now I can't stop saying honest. Queez wrote, honest, keeping the show honest. Facts, honest. Thank you for that. Why are there so many terrorists that gate America? They know something we do not. Why are there so many terrorists that gate? I'm like, yo, gate. Yo, you know what? All right, so let me kind of remove this for a second. That is a good question, Ant. Like, why do so many terrorists gate? And he's replacing the G with the H. America. They know something we do not. We were having a conversation yesterday about how a lot of military people, or if military people get radicalized when they go overseas and they're committing certain crimes, or let me say that, when they're doing certain things for the Americans as a part of the military says, shoot these people, drop these bombs, do whatever. Those soldiers a lot of times become radicalized against America. I think that was what the conversation was about. We were pondering on that point. And I think that any army, like, there's a lot of dirty work that a lot of countries have, people do. And I think whenever you have a country that's as powerful as America, and a lot of these countries doing the things that are being exposed more and more, I believe that the people that are doing the dirty work, a lot of times they may have these change of hearts. They may deal with this PTSD. They may be asked to do certain things that they're not willing to do anymore. We see it in a lot of industries, to be totally honest, where people will turn on this industry, turn on the music industry, So I can imagine that would be the same with a lot of these soldiers being radicalized and a lot of these groups. And it's all just perception. When you look at it, when you use quote unquote terrorists, and I know you put it in quotes because it's like one person's hero is another person's terrorist. Christopher Columbus was a hero, right? Thomas Jefferson was a hero, right? A lot of these people, depending on who you ask, they would say that they brought a lot of terror to people's lives. So, and Honest Road is important because of events then compared to now. No, it's definitely important. It's definitely important. And just as I'm thinking about that video, that's also brings up a good point, because I used to be one of those people that would look at those videos one particular way, and it set the tone on how I thought moving forward on Donald Trump, until I was able to kind of snap out of that. And maybe that's what a lot of people are still experiencing now. Maybe that's what a lot of people are still experiencing now. So let's keep going. Let's keep going. And Queez wrote, right, those feelings about him do stem from a place. And I'm glad that I get reminded by it, Queez, to be totally honest. I'm glad that I get reminded by it, because when I have these conversations, you know what ends up happening? I'm completely, when I got turned off by the Democratic Party, I completely desensitized myself, maybe from a lot of things that previously would have triggered me. I desensitized myself. I look back and I said, because I'll be honest, when it came to 2016, people that voted for Trump, I was one of those people. I'm like, yo, how y'all voting for this dude pushing all this division, this racist? I was one of those people. And now when I have these conversations with a lot of people that continue to vote Democrat, this is a reminder to give them some grace. Because of what Queez just wrote, those feelings do stem from a place. And a lot of times, once you say certain things, once you show your intent in one particular area, it's hard for us to now look at something a different way. It's hard for a lot of people who still dislike Trump to see him any other way than in that video clip that we just showed, even with it being from 2016. Now, I don't know. Maybe some people will look at it and say, all right, that was from 2016. Clearly, he's shown some changes. But then when I connect it to what's happening right now, that is the biggest concern of me. That is the biggest concern. If a president is going to look at an entire religion, an entire group, when you're responsible for moderating and maybe figuring out a solution to a very bad war. And now we know what your previous mindset is, because I've never heard Donald Trump speak in that light when it comes to other religious groups. And Queez wrote, does Donald Trump deserve grace for this? Queez, and that's the thing, deserve, I don't know. Deserve, I don't know. I think that people are allowed to change their stances, but I can't say that I think he deserves grace for it. I think it's hard for you to deserve grace from making such a strong comment like that. I'm gonna be totally honest. I think it's on him to now just move forward in a way that maybe doesn't illustrate that type of mindset based on his actions. But I mean, it's hard. Can you change that mentality? I mean, what do you think, Queez? I really don't know. I really don't know. Now, I personally, I'm telling y'all, I would have to say that I give, like, I think most, the reason why I'm struggling to say is I was going to say that I think I personally give Donald Trump grace for that. But I don't even know if that's the right word. It just doesn't bother me as much as a lot of other issues. Like, it doesn't, something that he said in 2016, they've been, and when I say it doesn't bother me, what I mean is what I said earlier, as far as being desensitized, maybe being turned off and hating the Democrats so much, despising them so much, that maybe I automatically look at a lot of the things that the Republicans do that used to bother me. Maybe I do give them a certain amount of grace, but that's on Donald Trump. That's on Donald Trump to show in his actions, in my opinion. That's on Donald Trump to show in his actions. Now, Donald Trump has come out and challenged some of the rabbis saying you got to wrap this war up. It's got to be done. So he did say some of those things. But then when you watch like the Trump Gaza and stuff like that, then it makes you, you know what I mean? Like we gotta keep these receipts. And just like, hold up, we can't act like we didn't play a video from 2008 on Hillary Clinton and on this exact show. So I can't sit here and act like I didn't play a video from 2008. Now we knew that we said it was from 2008. We played the video from 2008 on Hillary Clinton, showing how a lot of the hypocrisy and showing how they sound very similar to a lot of the America First approach and a more conservative approach, or what's seen as conservative right now. And we're comparing them we're holding them accountable to those words by comparing it to the stuff that they're now saying. Queez wrote, I don't think he deserves grace for that. And exactly, his actions could possibly change that. Yeah, I think we on the same page. Like it is what it is, bro. I don't like grace or not. You need to we just judging you based on how you move forward from this point. And that's on you to maybe make up for some of that stuff. So, all right. So we're, yeah, that was good though. That was good. Shout out to Honest for, reminding us or making me look up exactly when that video is from, because it does provide more context to it, regardless of whether or not we decide to give him grace for it. But those type of things, yeah, I got an issue with those type of things. All right, so this may be, I think we have maybe one or two more videos. I saw this video. This is, I think, our dude Brandon Lehman. Yeah, he had make sure y'all check out Brandon Lehman's page. He's dope. He's got some good videos up. I love matter of fact, I'm jealous of his studio. I'm jealous of bro's studio. He got a cool little setup and does some good videos. He actually was at some of the Turning Point he's at some of the Turning Point events where they debate the college students. I'll be honest, man. I'd be a little nervous, man, debating those college kids, man. I wouldn't want to say anything. You get, the live debates with the kids, man, that can go left. But no, that seems like a fun thing to do. All joking aside, that seems like, I guess it could be a fun thing to do. It's just cool. It's just fun to hear other people's perspectives, to give your perspectives and to have to respond in real time with things that support your stance on certain things. But let's take a look at this video. It's Dak. Just want to thank you for checking out our video and visiting the OG Network. If you enjoyed the video, please make sure that you give us a like. And if you're looking to join a community of inspired individuals striving for purposeful abundance, subscribe. And if you're feeling real generous, share the video with some friends and family. All right, I'll see y'all soon. Ew.